procrastination is not just a bad habit, it's a silent killer of dreams that eats away at your potential piece by piece. It never arrives with a loud warning. It sneaks in quietly, wrapping you in comfort until you realize years have slipped through your fingers. It whispers, "Do it tomorrow," and at first you believe tomorrow is safe. But when tomorrow turns into next week and next week becomes next year, you're left staring at the ghost of what could have been. Think about all the times you promised yourself to start writing that book, learning that skill, launching that business. They're still waiting for you, trapped in the prison of someday, and someday is nothing more than a polite disguise for never. The tragedy of procrastination is that it feels harmless in the moment. Watching one more episode or scrolling for just 10 more minutes seems small, but each delay compounds until it becomes the very reason your dream dies in silence. The cruel truth is, procrastination doesn't just steal your time, it steals your self-belief. Every time you delay what you promised yourself, you send a message to your brain that you can't be trusted, and over time, that doubt poisons your confidence. And confidence is the fuel of dreams. Without it, even the brightest ideas fade, not because they lacked power, but because the person holding them lacked discipline. That's the silent cost of procrastination. It robs you of faith in yourself. Meanwhile, someone else out there is not waiting for perfect conditions. They're starting messy, stumbling forward, learning along the way, while you stay stuck on the starting line, convincing yourself the timing isn't right. The world doesn't pause for you to feel ready. It moves with or without you, and procrastination guarantees you'll always be watching from the sidelines while others live the life you were meant to claim. So the real question is simple. Will you let procrastination kill your ambition quietly, or will you fight back by acting before your time runs out? Because one day it will, and by then it won't be excuses you're holding. It will be regret. Procrastination is the graveyard where countless dreams are buried, not with a bang, but with a slow and silent suffocation. It doesn't destroy your potential in a single moment. It drains you over time, convincing you that waiting is safe. You tell yourself you'll do it tomorrow, but tomorrow never truly arrives. By the time you wake up, another day has already slipped through your hands, leaving you with nothing but frustration and the same old excuses. Think about the goals you once felt passionate about, the ones that lit a fire inside you. Where are they now? Most likely still locked away in the vault of someday, a vault you keep adding to but never open. The dangerous part is how gentle procrastination feels at first. It tells you that resting is deserved, that delaying won't hurt, that the right time is around the corner. But that corner never comes, and you find yourself circling endlessly. Procrastination is clever because it disguises itself as comfort. You don't feel like you're failing, you feel like you're simply waiting for alignment, for clarity, for energy. But what you're really doing is digging a deeper hole you'll eventually drown in. Every hour you delay is an hour someone else is using to move closer to their dream. And while you're sitting in hesitation, they're building momentum, stacking small wins, and leaving you further behind every single day. The world doesn't wait for your readiness. Time is indifferent, and it flows without mercy. Whether you act or not, the days will keep moving forward, dragging your unrealized potential with them. The cost of procrastination is not just wasted time, it's wasted life. When you look back years later, you won't remember the hours you scrolled, the shows you binged, or the naps you took. You'll only remember the opportunities you lost. Regret is one of the heaviest burdens a Hummer N can carry, and procrastination guarantees you'll pick it up. Not suddenly, but slowly, until you wake up one day realizing you've run out of chances. And here's the cruelest part. Procrastination doesn't feel dangerous while it's happening. It feels harmless, even justified. That's why it's deadly. It kills your dreams without ever looking like an enemy. Every time you delay action, you're not just losing progress, you're losing trust in yourself. Your brain starts recording the pattern. You say things you don't do, and eventually you stop believing your own promises. And when you don't believe in yourself, it becomes nearly impossible to chase big goals. Self-belief is the foundation of achievement, and procrastination erodes it until you doubt your own potential. Think about the times you swore you'd start. Monday I'll begin, next month I'll commit, after this season I'll be ready. How many of those Mondays, months and seasons have already passed by? Discipline doesn't wait for the perfect mood. The people who succeed are not those who always feel motivated. They're the ones who act regardless of how they feel. And that consistency kills procrastination. Because the truth is, action fuels motivation, not the other way around. Waiting to feel inspired before you move is a trap, and the longer you wait, the weaker your willpower becomes. Procrastination thrives in hesitation. The more you overthink, the heavier the task feels. And before you know it, something that would have taken minutes now feels like an impossible mountain. The solution isn't to think more, it's to act fast. Even the smallest step forward breaks procrastination's hold, because once you start moving, momentum begins to carry you further. You don't need massive leaps to kill procrastination. You just need to prove to yourself that you're willing to start, right here, right now, no matter how small the action may be. And here's the beauty. Once you start, you rarely stop. The hardest part is wreaking the inertia, because momentum is built by doing, not by planning. But procrastination will keep whispering lies, trying to pull you back. It will say you're too tired, too busy, not ready. If you listen, you'll stay stuck in the same cycle you've been in for years. This cycle robs not just your goals, but your identity. Every delayed action makes you feel weaker, lazier, less capable. And when you feel that way long enough, you start to accept it as who you are. But that's not who you are. That's just the result of a pattern you've allowed to control you. And patterns can be broken the moment you decide to take ownership of your time. Your future self is watching every decision you make today. And if you keep procrastinating, your future self will hate you for the wasted chances, the lost years, and the dreams you buried alive. Don't underestimate the power of one small step. Writing a single page, making one phone call, spending 10 minutes learning, that's how dreams are built. Not all at once, but piece by piece. Procrastination convinces you that small steps don't matter, but that's its biggest lie. Because success is nothing but a collection of consistent small steps that eventually become something massive. So the question becomes, are you willing to start, even if it's imperfect, even if it's uncomfortable? Because waiting for the perfect moment guarantees you'll be waiting forever. Every excuse you tell yourself sounds valid in the moment, but ask yourself, where has listening to those excuses gotten you so far? The truth hurts, but it's necessary to face. You are not losing because you lack talent or resources. You are losing because you keep giving your power to procrastination, and every time you give in, you delay the life you truly want. But the good news is, procrastination only wins if you feed it. The moment you act, you starve it, and the grip it has on your life begins to weaken. Don't wait for confidence before you act. Confidence is born after you act. It's the reward of progress, not the requirement for starting. If you want to kill procrastination, stop looking at the entire mountain. Focus only on the first step. Once you take it, the second becomes easier, and suddenly the mountain doesn't look so tall. The danger of procrastination is that it convinces you there's always more time. But look around, people waste decades believing that, only to reach the end of their lives full of regret. And regret doesn't care about your excuses. It only cares about the chances you didn't take, the goals you never chased, and the person you could have become but didn't. So every day you wait, you're choosing regret over growth, and one day you won't have the luxury of choice anymore. Time will have made the decision for you. Most people think procrastination is harmless because it doesn't punch you in the face today. It doesn't scream failure in the moment. Instead, it whispers comfort, and you mistake that comfort for safety. But comfort is a slow poison. It keeps you warm while it robs you of fire. And the longer you sit in it, the harder it becomes to climb out, until you forget what it even feels like to burn with purpose. Ask yourself, how many times have you settled for scrolling instead of creating? How many times have you let distraction win while your dreams sat silently in the back of your mind, begging for your attention? That guilt you feel after wasting a whole day, that's your soul trying to wake you up. That's the reminder that deep down you know you're capable of more than what procrastination allows you to be. And yet, people confuse that guilt for weakness, when in reality, it's proof of potential. If you didn't care, you wouldn't feel guilty. The very fact that you feel it means there's still time to rewrite the story. The worst lie procrastination tells you is that you'll start when things calm down, when you have more saying tomorrow. Now think about your own ideas, your own dreams. Are you going to let them join the graveyard of wasted potential? Or will you decide that today is the day you stop letting procrastination decide your fate? Procrastination feeds on overthinking. The more you analyze, the scarier the action feels. The more you delay, the heavier the task becomes until even the smallest step looks impossible. But action kills overthinking. Even a tiny step shifts your brain from fear into motion. The moment you act, you prove to yourself that the monster wasn't as big as you imagined. It's like standing at the edge of cold water. You hesitate, overthink, and build the fear in your head. But once you dive in, you realize it wasn't that bad. Procrastination thrives in hesitation, but it dies in action. And here's the truth most people miss. Discipline is freedom. It might feel strict in the moment, but it's the very thing that sets you free from the chains of regret later. Without discipline, you become a slave to procrastination. But with discipline, you hold the keys to create, to grow, to achieve, and to look back one day knowing you didn't waste your shot. Look at anyone who's successful, not just financially, but in health, relationships, personal growth. None of them got there by waiting for the perfect moment. They got there because they acted when it was hard, when it was inconvenient, when it was uncomfortable. Comfort zones don't build legends, comfort zones build regrets. And every minute you spend protecting your comfort, you're sacrificing the life that could have been yours. Ask yourself, what's more painful, the short-term discomfort of discipline or the long-term agony of regret? Because one way or another, you will feel pain. The choice is which pain you're willing to endure. If you choose procrastination, the pain is invisible at first, but unbearable later. If you choose discipline, the pain is sharp now, but it builds strength, freedom, and pride later. The future version of you is shaped by the choices you make today. Imagine yourself 10 years from now. Will that version of you thank you for fighting procrastination or curse you for feeding it? Because make no mistake, your future self is watching you. Every excuse you make, every delay you justify, every promise you break, they all add up, and one day the bill will come due. Time is the most ruthless currency because you can't earn it back once it's spent. You can't deposit it, you can't rewind it, you can only choose where to spend it right now. And if you're spending it on procrastination, you're not just wasting time, you're investing in failure. You're giving away your future for the comfort of the present. But the opposite is also true. If you invest your time in action, even small, imperfect action, you're building compound interest in your dreams. Each small step grows into momentum, and momentum builds empires. The secret isn't about giant leaps, it's about consistent steps. Write 1 page a day, and in a year, you'll have a book. Learn 10 new words daily, and in a year, you'll master a new language. That's the power of consistency. But procrastination will try to rob you of those small wins by convincing you they don't matter. It will make you believe that only big actions count, so you do nothing at all. That's the trap. You either do everything perfectly or you do nothing. And that all or nothing mindset is procrastination's greatest weapon. You don't need perfection, you need progress. Imperfect progress beats perfect inaction every single time. Because dreams don't care if the work was messy, they care if it was done. So start messy, start small, start scared, but for your own sake start. Because every day you wait is another day you bury your potential deeper in the ground. And remember this, nobody is coming to save you from procrastination. No mentor, no book, no motivational speech will matter unless you decide to take control of your own time. That responsibility is yours. And that's the good news. You don't have to wait for anyone else to decide when you move forward. The power is already in your hands right now. So the choice is simple. Stay comfortable and watch your dreams fade, or fight procrastination with action and build a life worth remembering. Which choice will you make? Procrastination has a way of convincing you that you'll always have more time. It makes you believe you can afford to wait, that your dreams will still be there when you're finally ready to pursue them. But time doesn't wait for anyone. While you're hesitating, the days are slipping away. One day you'll wake up realizing that you're not out of opportunities, you're out of years. The danger is that procrastination feels comfortable right now, but it makes the future unbearable. It trades today's ease for tomorrow's suffering, and most people don't realize the cost until it's far too late. Think about the people you admire, the ones who inspire you. Do you think they got there by delaying, by postponing, by saying someday? No, they acted before they felt ready, and that's why their lives became extraordinary. Everyone feels fear. Everyone feels doubt. The only difference is that some allow fear to freeze them, while others feel the fear and move anyway. That's the separation between success and mediocrity. Procrastination will always hand you the perfect excuse. It will say you're too tired, too busy, too unprepared. But the truth is, you're not too tired or too busy. You're just not prioritizing your dream over your distraction. And if your distractions keep winning, don't be surprised when your dreams lose. Life rewards focus, and procrastination is the enemy of focus. It scatters your energy until nothing meaningful gets done. But here's the good news: you don't have to fight procrastination with giant leaps. You fight it with momentum, with building small daily habits that make delaying impossible. Even spending 5 minutes on your goal today makes you stronger than yesterday. And 5 minutes consistently will always outperform waiting for the perfect hour that never comes. The mind loves momentum. Once you begin, your brain naturally wants to continue. That's why starting is the hardest part. But once you're in motion, procrastination loses its power. It's like pushing a car stuck in neutral. At first, it feels impossible, but the moment you get it rolling, even slowly, it becomes easier to keep it moving. That's how life works. The more you act, the lighter the resistance feels. But if you never push, you'll always be stuck at the starting line, wishing you had the courage to begin. Procrastination thrives in the waiting zone. It convinces you to prepare endlessly, to plan forever, to research more than you act. But preparation without execution is just another form of delay. You don't need to know everything to start, you need to start to know everything. Experience is the greatest teacher, but procrastination keeps you locked in theory while others are learning in practice. And those who learn in practice always win. Because while you're still thinking about how to begin, they've already failed, adjusted, learned, and improved. That's why they're further ahead. The secret isn't to be the smartest, it's to be the one who begins. Because starting separates the dreamers from the doers, and the doers are the ones who create results. Think of procrastination as a thief, because that's exactly what it is. Every day you give in, it steals not just your time, but your future. And it never gives back what it takes. The longer you allow it to steal, the less you'll have left. Until one day, you'll realize you've given away the best years of your life for nothing but empty comfort. Ask yourself honestly, how much longer are you willing to give procrastination control over your destiny? How many more excuses will you allow before you finally say enough? Because here's the truth: if you don't control your time, procrastination will. And procrastination doesn't care about your dreams, your goals, or your future. It only cares about keeping you stuck. And once you're stuck long enough, you start believing that's who you are. You start thinking you're lazy, unmotivated, incapable. But that's not true. You're just trapped in a pattern. And patterns can be broken. The same way you built the habit of procrastination, you can build the habit of action. It's not about changing overnight, it's about changing daily, one choice at a time. That's why every decision matters. Every time you choose to act instead of delay, you're rewiring your brain, teaching it to trust you again, proving that your word has value. Over time, those decisions transform your identity. You stop seeing yourself as someone who delays and start seeing yourself as someone who follows through. And identity shapes destiny, but you'll never experience that shift if you keep giving in to the illusion of tomorrow. Tomorrow is a liar. It doesn't exist. All you ever have is today, and what you choose to do with it. So what are you choosing right now? Because every moment is either an investment in your future or a deposit in your regret. There's no neutral ground. Time is always tipping in one direction. If you want freedom, you must pay the price of discipline. If you want regret, keep paying the price of procrastination. Both require sacrifice. The difference is whether the sacrifice builds you or breaks you. People think procrastination is just a small bad habit, but it's not. It's the difference between the life you could have lived and the one you settle for. It's the killer of greatness, the destroyer of potential. And if you don't fight it, you'll watch your dreams fade away.